And welcome back to AutoNation All Access. We are joined now by Andy Lindahl from Denver Sports 760. You can hear him Monday to Friday, 4 to 6. Andy, I'll put the question to you. Will the Rockies win the NL West?
You know what? Why not? It's June. Let's say yes, they will. But they have to trade for a veteran pitcher somewhere to fill out, I think, in the middle of the rotation. They need to find that Josh Fogg type, I think. So that would mean not giving up your best prospects. But maybe that's a deal that you can pull off. I just think these young guys are going to need someone to guide them into the playoffs if it's going to happen. We know August and September, everything changes. Guys start playing differently. The teams that are in it focus a little bit more. Things become tougher. I think if they can add a veteran pitcher to kind of help guide the rotation, I think they'll be just fine.
At this point, what are any of your concerns about the Rockies? What could derail the success that they're having?
Well, to be fair about things, I think we all know when it gets hot and dry in Colorado, that's when we start to see softball games, not baseball games. The ball starts flying out of Coors Field. The pitchers seem kind of exasperated trying to keep it in. So we'll see if they can avoid that this year. But I would say Greg Holland, to me, would be the reason why I think they'll be able to stay in this race. They've never had a closer like this. Now, every now and again, he dabbles with traffic. But for the most part, you're not getting on base. You go back to a Brian Fuentes or Manny Corpus, they always seem to be making you nervous before they got that save. That's not the case with Greg Holland. He does such a good job of shutting the door once he gets in there. And if Adam Ottavino comes back, I think they've really got something.
Before the season, I think the expectation was that the Rockies would just be in contention to make the playoffs. If they made the playoffs, that'd be huge. With the start that they've had, have the expectations been raised to the point that they need to make the playoffs? They need to win a series?
It's funny, Mark, because I don't know if they've been raised by the fans. I know a lot of fans that we talk to on the show, they don't want to buy in just yet. But I think it would be, I don't want to call it disastrous if they don't make the playoffs this year, but it just puts another nail in that coffin of we're not paying attention to this team until the All-Star break, or we're not paying attention to this team until August. I mean, I think this is a good baseball team that deserves more local attention, frankly, more than the quarterback competition is getting right now. But they're not going to get that until they can do it all the way through. So let's hope they can this year.
Hey, thanks for mentioning the quarterback competition. Let's talk about the Broncos quarterback competition as they wrap up OTAs this week. I know Vance Joseph has said that it's going to go into training camp. But is either guy in the lead right now?
Look, for me, it's Trevor Siemian. And I know that's not a popular answer for everybody. But when you look at the way this team has to start the season, 4 out of 5 on the road, or 4 out of 5 at home, you get the bye week very early. They can't afford the unknown in that early going, that September, October portion of the schedule. I think Trevor, from what I know, Trevor's been putting a lot of work in. I think that makes the coaches feel comfortable. I think they know what they're going to get with him. And despite what we're being told and some of the highlights that Paxton has had this offseason, I still think you got to go with Trevor. Because you know what? Look, if things are going bad, say by the break, by the midpoint, with that road schedule, you're probably in trouble anyway. It's an easier time to play Paxton, in my mind, without a lot of pressure in there. So I think Trevor's the one that's the leader in the clubhouse. I think Mike McCoy knows better, and so does Bill Musgrave, what they're going to get when they put him out there. And I know Trevor had a good, or Paxton had the good game or the good day on Monday. I just don't think it's as big as people are making it out to be.
There are some, myself included, who think the Broncos want to give Paxton every opportunity to win this job. What would he have to do to overtake Trevor during training camp?
Well, it's funny because I disagree with many in town. I think that Paxton has to throw an absolute knockout punch. I think he has to show that he's got everything down, he's making the right reads. And again, it's about decisions. It's about making the right decision, throwing to the right guy, not throwing to a guy in coverage. You're not getting points for whipping it through 2 defenders to a receiver. That's not the right read. They want to see you hit the open read. They don't worry about the deep ball. The deep ball is not where you're throwing all the time. It's that 20 to 25 yard area, the outs, beyond the numbers. You've got to be able to hit those in time and hit a guy in a tight window. And to me, Trevor's still doing that more than Paxton.
Quickly, will the offensive line be better in 2017?
I'm going to say yes, but we've said it. I think you've had me on this show for 3 years, and I've said yes because we've said it can't get any worse.
And it keeps getting worse.
I do think they're getting better coaching, though. So I think Jeff Davidson will be better, and I think there's some better pieces. So I'm going to say yes.
He's Andy Lindahl. You can hear him 4 to 6 Monday through Friday on Denver Sports 760. Andy, thanks as always for stopping by.
Thank you.